I'm Tomato Basic. I speak for the tomatoes. Today we are going to do a hopefuls for the media I will be consuming this upcoming week. It is currently Sunday, June 28th, 2026. So this is everything I want to consume this week. I might do a media of the week. I like doing those. However, I just didn't feel like doing one. So this is everything I'm going to consume, what I'm excited for. We're going to talk books, movies, TV shows. I don't consume anything else really. I'm not a big music girl. Sorry. And I feel like that's really the only types of media that I consume. So, my dog is trying to get into my room. I am not allowing him into my room because he's evil. Okay, so yeah. So, we're gonna start with books, then TV shows, then movies. Cool. For books, originally I'm reading Legendborn for the first time. If you don't know what Legendborn is, it's hard for me to describe because I haven't heard like a real synopsis of it. I've just heard people talk about it. But basically all I know, I'm listening to the audiobook. It's like 19 hours, which is crazy. But all I know so far is that it is this girl, Bree. She's going to this college, and her mom recently passed away in an accident. And she finds out that magic exists in this college, and but the magic system is based off of Merlin, like King Arthur and Merlin. And that's all I know so far. But it's a very loved YA. It is people very much love it and I really appreciate it, and I've heard great things about it. I've never heard bad things about it. I've heard only people really like it. And the main reason I picked it up is because my second favorite book I've read 61 books so far this year. My second favorite book I've ever read this year is Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. Blood Moon is incredible and it's very similar. Kind of, it has in Blood Moon her mom's missing. They don't know if she's alive or dead, and I think the plot twist in Legendborn is that her mom is actually alive. That's just my opinion with everything. As soon as I read a story and it's like my parent is dead, I'm like, no, they're not. And it takes me a lot of convincing to believe that their parent is not dead. So that's not a spoiler because I don't know if that's true. However, if I'm right, babe, I told you so. But in Blood Moon, her mom is missing, and Blood Moon, instead of being based off of Merlin and stuff, it is vampires and werewolves. It is genuinely so good. I loved it so much. And the author of Blood Moon has compared Blood Moon to Legendborn. So I'm excited to kind of read because honestly, it's taking everything out of me not to just reread Blood Moon. I love that book so much. I think about it, even though it's not my favorite book I've read this year. That's Chlorine by Jade Song. That's my top book. I think about that book once a day. I love it. And I'm going to reread it because Bloodlust, the second book in the series, is coming out in January, and it's my most anticipated release. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna read it, before it comes out, and I might read it a little early. I might read it in October because it's just so good. It's just so good. So that's why I started Legendborn. I was kind of in a reading slump. All of this, my first ever reading slump, baby's first reading slump. I am new to reading as an adult. I always say this, but I feel so silly saying as an adult because I'm only 19, and I feel like most people who got back into reading as an adult are in their mid to late 20s, which no hating. it's funny because I don't consume a lot of content from people my age. I consume a lot of content from people in their mid to late 20s, early 30s. That's kind of my age range. I don't know why, that's what I prefer. It's kind of nice. Life hack. If you are dealing with depression, find an adult you can like imprint on that seems to be happy, so you have hope that you will be happy at that age. I've done it since I was in high school, where I see an adult who's like clearly very happy with their life, and I'm like, I want to be like you. Maybe not do what they do, but like I want to be like you one day. And so I like to it's an optimistic look at life. But anyways, I do feel silly saying I'm reading for the first time as an adult, even though it is technically true. It just feels silly to me because like I don't think a lot of people consider 19-year-olds like real adult, which is very fair. I don't think I consider myself a real adult, so that's fair. But since I started reading again, I have like done really good at like just reading a lot and like reading every day, and like even there will be times where I'm like, oh, I didn't read today, and I'll be like, yes, I did. And that happens a lot. So, but I'm not in a reading slump in the way where like I can't finish a book. It's more so like I just don't know what to read. I'm also so burnt out at romance, which is another reason I picked this out, because I know there's a love triangle in this book, I believe. And I believe I met both the people in the love triangle so far. But I don't really like want to read any romance right now. I'm nothing against romance. I'm not one of those people who looks down on people for reading romance. I think romance is a really fun genre. I have just read so much of it that I actually never want to pick up a romance book again. And I know I will not feel this way forever. However, I'm just not in the mood to read romance. So I'm really excited for this. My goal was to originally finish it before the end of a month, because I kind of had a shitty reading month. I didn't like have anything that like I loved this month. But I wanted to take my time with it. Again, it is also like a 19-hour book, so it's like I didn't want to rush that. I probably could finish it. I recently read my first book in one day. I listened to a 9-hour audiobook in one day, which was very fun. But I want to like take my time with it, because this is like really, I feel like a series to savor. I'll probably finish it before the end of the week, like 90% sure I will. So I don't know what I'm gonna read after. I'm honestly not sure. But I do know hold on. Sorry, I sometimes speak before I think. I talk before I think. So I'll just like start a sentence and I have no idea where that sentence is going. No. Alright. Hold on. Let me think. Hold on. I have ADHD. Hold on. I would love to continue this series, but I would love to be the type of person that like reads a series back to back to back. I want to do that so bad. I want to do that so bad, where I just read an entire series back to back to back. However, because of who I am as a person, I will literally never do that. I will literally never do that. I will never be that person. But I would love to read the next book in this series. It depends how I feel though. So other than that, I have no idea what I'm gonna read. Like audio wise, I really nothing. I have 2 books available on Libby right now. And I kind of don't want to read other than the other one is Jade Songs, she wrote my favorite book so far this year. Her book, Chlorine was just so heavy. I don't know if I can do anything heavy right now. I'm just like not in the mindset. And the other one is Clips by Stephenie Meyer, and I have truly had a reverse enemies to lovers with the Twilight Saga, where it's lovers to enemies. I loved the Twilight Saga when I was a junior in high school, and now I loathe it with every beat of me. But it's become fun in the way where like I'm reading it in like a I don't read books critically often. I think it kind of sucks the joy out of books to like analyze a piece of media. I know some people love that. I know it's the reason some people consume media, and so they can analyze every little bit of it. Get that, love that for you. I kind of think you're a little joyless, and I don't like watching media with you. However, you do you. You consume it however you want to consume it. That's not how I'm going to consume it. The way I consume media is like, are the vibes good? Are the vibes good? But with the Twilight Saga, it's become like I would love to write like a really long essay and like really do my research, like including reading all 7 of the books, because there are 7 Twilight books if you don't know. Reading all 7 of the books and like really doing my research and like analyzing the Twilight text, and like because I just think they're such an interesting piece of literature. And I think what I'll always say about the Twilight Saga is I think a lot of people hate the Twilight Saga because they are misogynistic, and because teenage girls like it, and people hate teenage girls. People see a teenage girl enjoying literally anything and they will hate on her to the point where she stops enjoying it. However, Twilight is one of those things that it shouldn't be hated on because teenage girls like it. It should be hated on because it's literally insane and problematic and inappropriate for teenagers to be reading. Okay. And I think there's a video on Moist Critical, shout out to Moist Critical. I don't watch Moist Critical, my sister does. Of Moist Critical, like watching the Twilight Saga and slowly realizing like what a mess it is. And I truly like I wish people would hate on Twilight for like the right reasons, because it is deeply problematic. However, it's not because teenage girls like it. And often a lot of the stuff teenage girls consume is deeply problematic, but it's not because teenage girls are consuming it. It's because we hate teenage girls as a society, and we want to fill their minds with toxic, terrible things. So that's my hot take on Twilight. I think it is truly really interesting, and I think if I read it and as less of like a oh my god this is like, because I started my reread as like a oh my god this is like so funny, like girlhood, and now I'm like I hate this. I hate Edward Cullen with every ounce of me, but I'm determined. So I might read Eclipse next. I really don't want to. Eclipse made me cry the first time I read it, which is very funny lore in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna read next. Physically though, I really struggle to read physical books. Also, just to clarify, when I say physically, I include ebooks. I know technically reading a physical book is reading a physical book, but e-reading and physically reading are the same exact thing. I also I consider audiobooks reading. I genuinely don't want to hang out with people who don't consider audiobooks reading. It's that serious to me. But I understand audiobooks are a slightly different experience. Still reading, but it is a different experience. I'll admit to that. There's no different experience from ebooks and physical books, except ebooks are often more comfortable and more accessible. So nothing against physical books, but I was gonna read Jurassic Park. I was really excited to read Jurassic Park. Here's the thing though. I was reading it on, if you don't know, there's multiple apps you can use depending on the library you use for ebooks and audiobooks, and my library has 2 apps. It has Cloud Library, which I never heard anyone talk about, and it has Libby. And Cloud Library is weird. I don't even know how to describe this, but so Cloud Library will cut the page number in half. So if you're reading a 500 page book, it will cut it into 250. but instead of like, you'll read a page on the ebook and you'll go to the next page, but you have to read 2 pages to get to continue another page. It also counts like 0 pages, like you have 0 pages left in this chapter, but you have to read that 0 page, if that makes any sense. So I thought Jurassic Park was like 400 pages. It's 670 pages, and respectfully, I'm not doing that right now. So I will primarily be reading comics this week. I'm going to the library Wednesday. I am beyond excited. I'm going to the library Wednesday. I am so excited. So yeah, incredibly excited. I love library. So I will be picking out some comics. Here's the thing. Sometimes I'm insecure about how many books I've read this year, because I have read a mix of audiobooks and poetry collections and essay collections and comics and ebooks and physical books, and I feel like people wouldn't take me seriously when I say I've read 61 books, but some of those are comics, a lot of those are audiobooks, some of those are ebooks, some of those are poetry collections. I feel like people really wouldn't take me seriously. So, and then I have to remind myself I don't care. So, and then I'm like, okay, well, what would I do to change that? And like, to change that, it would mean I would have to either stop reading comics or stop counting comics towards my reading goal. And I'm not doing either of those. I like refuse with every essence in my body to do either of those. I love comics, and I love counting them towards my reading goal. So I'm going to be reading comics. I don't have anything picked out just yet. That's true. I have one thing picked out from the library. I put it on hold. I was like looking at their comics. I actually might go look at their comics after this as well. But I was looking at their comics. I was looking at either their Batman stuff or their TMNT stuff, because it's a Batman TMNT comic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I picked that out because I was like, my 2 worlds colliding, I see. Absolutely. Yes, please. Give it to me. So, I put that on hold. Very, very excited. And that's the plan for this week. It's Legendborn, whatever book I'm going to read after Legendborn. I'll try to finish it before the end of the week. I try to average like 1 to 2 like audiobooks a week. I always hit 1, like I try to do 2. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending on the book. But I'll try to do 2 books. And then a bunch of comics, because I'm really in a comic mood. I really love comics. So that is the goal. I also have Hoopla. My local library doesn't have Hoopla. However, my county library has Hoopla, and they have a great comic section. So I'm gonna read some comics on there probably. I'm currently reading the Red Hood Outlaws series, and I'm loving it. And then after that, I'm gonna read Absolute Batman. So that is sort of the plan. But I would like to read some physical comics this week. I think that would be really enjoyable. So that's the plan for books. Okay, next is TV shows. I am currently in the middle of 4 TV shows. Don't ask me how I got here. I'll tell you. Okay, I started off the year, February, with my first TV show, 2012 TMNT. Yes, I am on hiatus. Why did I say it like that? I'm on hiatus for 2012 TMNT. Here is the tea. I am on season 4, episode 12. I'm watching it all through DVD because I have the entire series on DVD. Flex. And I'm about to finish disc 14, which there's only 20 discs. So that would leave me with 5 discs left. However, I have to take a hiatus. I don't know for how long, because spoiler alert, Master Splinter and my dad recently got into a pretty bad accident, And the thought of watching the Ninja Turtles go through something I could have very possibly gone through horrifies me to my entire, like, it, every essence of me is horrified. So I need to stop, and I need to just, I can't do it. I can't put myself through that. I'm gonna try to finish disc 14 this week, and other than that, I have no plans. Batman Beyond. I'm on season 2, episode 14. Here's the deal with Batman Beyond. I really want to watch this through all through DVD. I watched the entire season on DVD because I own it, but I don't have the other 2 seasons. I've been watching it illegally. But I have another library that's close to me, but not my local library. I live on a cusp of a city, so I live in a city, but I live on the cusp of another one. And that library that like isn't my city, but I live right next to, has Batman Beyond, the entire series, on DVD. So my goal is, it's $20 to get a card that will last 6 months. I am going to try to get a card there. By the end of this week, if I don't either like have a solid in concrete plan to get that card, or if I like don't have the card, I will have to continue with it not on DVD. But I love supporting libraries. I love going to libraries. I would love to have another library to go to. However, it's just not in the cards right now. But I'm hoping by the end of the week I can get it on DVD because I love watching stuff on DVD. I have a portable DVD player. I love it. Next is Gravity Falls. I'm on season 2, episode 6. I am getting season 2 on DVD from the library on Wednesday, so I will be watching that very soon. My goal is to finish it within the week of getting it, so I'll get it on Wednesday. My goal is to finish it the next Wednesday, because I am going to be watching. Also, another reason I'm taking a break from Batman Beyond is because I want to finish Gravity Falls, and also I'm watching Widow's Bay. Widow's Bay is this TV show. It's like about a cursed island, and like the mayor who like runs the not runs, but like who is mayor of the island. It's very good so far. I'm only on episode 3. I just watched episode 2 today, and it was so good and so creepy. So I want to watch that. I want to finish that this week. There's only 1 season out. There's 10 episodes. Every episode's 40 minutes, which I usually watch children's media, so usually my TV shows are like 20 minutes. However, I don't think it's a crime to have a 40-minute like episode if there's only like 10 episodes or like 12 episodes. Like, I don't think that's a crime. However, the 20 episode seasons that are 40 minutes and 9 seasons, Vampire Diaries, I'm not doing that. I am never doing that. But I am really excited to finish this show. I really like it so far. I really enjoy it. It's my first adult TV show that I've watched in years. So I'm really enjoying it. And then for movies, I have some plans. I was really missing my local library, and I really, really wanted to go. So I did some online browsing through their catalog, which I do recommend if you go to your local library a lot. But if like your library has multiple, what's the word? If your library has like multiple, there's like, what is the word? Buildings? That's not the correct word. But branches. If your library has multiple branches, so like the main branch, the tree branch, the rock branch, the grass branch, and you really only go to like the rock branch, and it's inaccessible for you to go to the other branches. My library has 4 branches. I go to one the most often. That's my local library. I go to it like once a week. I haven't been able to go often just because there's been stuff going on in my life, but very excited to go back. And then there's the main library, which I go, like, that's a special treat. The main library is a special treat. I'll go every couple months, like every 6 months. It has a really big bookstore. I'll check out the bookstore. Love the main library. Then there's another smaller branch that I have really only gone to like once or twice. And that's not my favorite because it's smaller. And then they opened a new branch, which is pretty close to me. I went to its grand opening. It was on my birthday, or maybe the day before my birthday. Either way, it was right about. It was, you know, but I I want to go back to that one. But if you are somebody who like can't go to like the multiple branches of your library, and you go to your like your local library a lot, and you kind of like are bored of like the selection they have, search the catalog on your library like website. You will be able to find some good stuff. And just search up like, you can search up like DVDs if you're just looking for DVDs, but you can also like search up like franchises, like search up Batman, search up Ninja Turtles, search up Scooby-Doo. Those are all of my hyperfixations. Oh, don't look at the Heated Reveille calendar. I forgot that was there. Not the one. Search up that. You will be able to find really good stuff. So what I actually found was, oh my god, I found a double feature of The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. I have heard amazing things about The Labyrinth, and I watched The Odd Ones Out. He's a YouTuber. He was like, I watched him as a kid. Video about The Dark Crystal. The point is, I've heard a lot about these movies, and I feel like for a lot of people, these are like core parts of their childhood, and I've never seen them, so I think I'm gonna do a double feature movie night, and I'm gonna like film a TikTok and stuff, and like make my room all pretty and stuff, and like watch those. I'm very, very excited for that. That was like such a good find. And then I found Muppets Treasure Island, which is my favorite Muppets movie. To be fair, and Muppets Most Wanted. I love you, Muppets Most Wanted. I don't watch a lot of Muppets movie. Again, they were never like core part of people's childhood. That like, I definitely watched them, but they weren't like a staple in my childhood. So I want to I want to watch a lot of the Muppets movies, but I want to watch them like physically, like on DVD. So I'll just have to see what I can get at the library. But I found Muppets Treasure Island. Very excited for that. And then I found Lego DC Batman Family Matters. Yes! Score! All I know about this movie is there's a clip of Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, and Jason Todd's like, old man Batman threw me out of the house. And then it's like, it was like a TikTok of that clip, and it's like, I can't believe this is the same character. And then it cut to Arkham Knight Jason saying, look at me while you die, Batman. Look at me. And it's like, I love franchises like that. I just straightened the hell out of my voice. I love franchises like that are so like polar opposite. Like, it's both, like, it has both children's media and then like things like Arkham Knight, where it's like, it is like very serious, very like emotionally driven, like really like hard, like deep topics, and then it has Lego Batman, and I really, really appreciate that about Batman. It's honestly, I can say the same for TMNT. I can't say the same for Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is another one of those franchises where there's like so much content in it. However, I don't know if it's the most emotionally driven. However, like, Batman has like, it has such range, I guess. Like, it has such range, and I think it's so funny. I think it's so incredibly funny to watch like something like Arkham Knight, like a playthrough of Arkham Knight, and then watch the Lego Batman. It's so, I'm so excited. I love it. I love it. I think it's the best thing about the Batman franchise. I love it so much. So I'm extremely excited for that. I might watch some other movies. I honestly might watch a movie after this. I'm supposed to watch episode 3 of Widow's Bay. I'm just nervous to watch it at night. Widow's Bay is like not another thing I love. I love spooky media. Like, I love, like, that's why I mainly, when I consume like Halloween and scary meat, like scary, but like Halloween, like spooky media. I really love children's media because it's not scary. I do not like scary stuff. It's not my thing. Hereditary is my favorite horror movie though, so I have range as well, just like Batman. But this is like it it scares me a little bit, but I think it's like watchable. The biggest problem I have with a lot of horror movies is they are like genuinely unwatchable because they're so fucking scary. Horror movies are very similar to spicy food. Like, you know how there's some spicy food that's like genuinely uneatable because it's so spicy? It's like it's great like that you can eat a bunch of spicy food, but like I want to eat food I'll actually enjoy, not things that burn off my taste buds. And that's how I feel for horror movie. I also do feel a lot of horror movies is just torture of women and just horrifically torturing women. That's why if I do consume horror, I really love like female centered horror and like woman's perspective of horror. That's why Obsession is really good. It's really good. I love Obsession. I also really like Weapons. I also think like horror, like comedy horror is really fun, I think. And I actually like horror comedy, not comedy horror. But I think if you just add a little comedy into your horror, I think it makes it so much more enjoyable. I am obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about. I am not a horror critique. I don't consume horror, but like that's my personal preference. I love female-centered horror. I love funny horror, and I love spooky stuff. And this isn't female-centered by any means. Widow's Bay is not female-centered, but it is really funny and really good. And it feels like a Netflix original. Like in the era where Netflix originals were really good. I don't know. There is a TV show that it reminds me of so much. It's not The Office, but it's like it reminds me of like a really good Netflix original, which is funny because like I don't watch Netflix originals. I didn't grow up on Netflix, but like that's the vibe it gives off. It's really good, and it's like spooky without being like super scary and like mindlessly scary. And it's also, the characters are really well written, and it feels very realistic even though it's so absurd, which I really enjoy. I really think it's like really fun when you watch a cast that, I think small towns, and technically this is a small town because it's an island, are really fun because if you've never been to America, small towns, the people are kind of absurd, and I love that for them. And I think there's so much culture in small towns, and I really love when people like lean into that and like make them a little kooky, but it's like it still feels really realistic. It's a really good show. I really recommend it so far. My sister actually got the recommendation from Moist Critical, so shout out Moisty. But that's my little nickname for him, Moist Critical, my close personal friend, Moisty. Love you, Moisty. But I'm really enjoying it so far, and it's kind of like everything I want. It's really, really good. So really enjoying it. So I'm gonna finish that this week, and then I'm probably gonna finish Gravity Falls, like midway through next week. So I'm very excited. And after I finish those, I'll be watching 2 TV shows. I'll be watching Batman Beyond, and I think I'll focus on finishing Batman Beyond, and then after I finish Batman Beyond, if I'm not ready to finish the Turtles, and even if I'm ready to finish the Turtles, I'm the type of person that likes to watch multiple TV shows at once. Some people like to read multiple books at once, where they have like an audiobook and a physical book. I cannot do that. That stresses me out. But I like doing that with TV shows. I think I might watch the Tangled animated series, depending on how I feel. It's on my radar. So, anyways, that is all to me that I'm going to consume this week. I am probably most excited I'm really excited for Legendborn. I'm really excited for the comics. TV show wise, Widow's Bay is probably the one I'm most excited for, which is good because that's going to be my focus. And honestly, I'm excited for all of the movies. I'm really excited for the Lego Batman Family Matters. I can't wait to see silly, goofy Jason Todd. Oh my god. But I'm also really excited for my Labyrinth and Dark Crystal thing. I think I'm more excited for Dark Crystal than I am Labyrinth, though. I know like kind of nothing about Labyrinth, except that you remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. What power? Power of voodoo. Hoodoo. You-do. What? Remind me of the babe. I don't know if I said that right. Anyways, I'm excited. So, and I hope Legendborn is really good. I think I really high hopes, but I'm not at all nervous that they won't be met. I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm not like in love. But I am really excited to like get into the series. So yeah, that is everything. I will definitely do a library haul once I get my stuff. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, bye.